Hey, what's going on, guys? All in channel host Sega Forever. This will not be a long video, but I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the E3 Xbox Bethesda 2022 showcase that was aired earlier today. Before I get started, I want to give a big hat tip to my brother from another mother. Man, he bought the world's most powerful gamer. He actually invited me on his podcast and had my reaction about the showcase that was shown earlier today. Also, hat tip to all the boys over there on E-Rock X's channel for the podcast I did earlier this morning. That was a live podcast for the showcase, which I watched. So both of those were really good, were pretty awesome, and it was exciting, man. On the live stream, it was cool because you kind of get reactions off the hip, as the show is going, and then with the next podcast I did with Hebot, right? Then you got to get your thoughts a little bit more. I mean, even though it's a little bit of hot takes as well, you can get your thoughts out there on the showcase. But what I ended up doing after that podcast, I had some stuff to do, run some errands and whatnot. But when I came back, what I ended up doing was watching the presentation again, because I watched it live and then I did my comments on it, and nothing's really changed about what I said on Ebot's podcast. But I will say that watching the showcase again, I was really really impressed. I was more so impressed. In fact, what I did, I watched the Xbox version, right? Because you can watch it in 4K. Just watch it on my computer screen because it's a 4K monitor. And then also after I watched that, I also went around and got some reactions from people in the industry. Because when you're on Twitter, I went on social media, of course, checking things out while I was running around doing my errands. And the gamut of reactions runs across the spectrum when it comes to the gaming industry, right? There's a lot of people that are excited. There are a lot of people that were blown away, like myself. There were some people that had, kind of mixed reactions, or maybe they liked particular things, didn't like other things, and then you just had some haters out there. And look, it falls along the battle lines, right? When we're talking about the console war, right? There's people that are absolutely going to hate it, and it's the same people that are going to hate it, no matter what Microsoft does. So that's a no claimer. And then so on the other side, then you have people accusing people like myself of being fanboys for liking it, for liking the showcase so much. In fact, when I was on Hebot's podcast, the We Got Next podcast, man, go check it out. When I was on his podcast, he asked to give a grade for each of the for the showcase in general. And so the grade that I gave him, I gave it a 10 plus or an A plus. Either way, man, I thought it was really awesome. I really enjoyed everything about the showcase. And I just wanted to say, like, so the other end of it of the spectrum would be like, okay, well, these guys are just Xbox, and that's all, just love Xbox, and that's it. Xbox can do no wrong. There's things that I have issues with Xbox. A lot of it doesn't have to do with actually the game, right? I actually did a video because I purchased an external SSD drive for my Xbox Series X or Series S because I'm using that now. So I had to get more storage. So I actually forked up the money to go purchase it. And so something like that, paying $200 for 1 terabyte of SSD. And I know SSD is expensive, right? And then we got all the shipping stuff going on and stuff like that. Luckily, I was able to use some coupons to get it cheaper, but still I had to pay over $100 for it, right? It's stuff like that is the stuff that I would complain about, Because with Microsoft, I know what they're doing with the Series S. And with the cloud service, right, can kind of negate that because what you do is you can just play these games off the cloud, so you don't have to load it onto your console. But the problem for me is that the cloud doesn't really work that well. So if it works for you, that's awesome. That's a great solution. So you don't have to probably use as much space on your hard drive like I have to, or you don't have to go and buy an external hard drive. So those are the kind of things that I would have a problem with. And there's a plethora of other things that Xbox does that I have problems with. But one of the things that they do that I don't have a problem with, and this is going back to my grade for the showcase, right? One of the things that they do that I don't ever have a problem with is just the way they've been doing their games lately, whether it's third party, indie, right? If they the AAA games that they have from their studios, in case in point, Forza Horizon 5, which is awesome, Sea of Thieves, which is a game that I don't normally play. That's not a game that, I played it. It's a fun game, but it's one of those games that I would have to play with other people. And that's the hard part for me, right? Because of where I live and the time differences and stuff like that. It's hard to get into groups. If I tried to, because I've tried and it's just difficult, right? So that's just not a game that I'll participate in. Um, and then you have all these other Xbox games that have come out. So they cover the gamut, and I'm talking about whether it be variety, um, the cost factor, all of that kind of stuff. So Game Pass is so popular because of the value. And so, when it comes to me giving the grade for the showcase, and this is what I said on Hebot's podcast. I gave it an A plus because basically a lot of the games that they showcased, I am going to be playing. I'll probably be playing it day one when it comes in Game Pass, downloading it, and then I'll be purchasing some of them day one, which is what I do now with Game Pass. I've said this, and I don't mean this as a slight. Hey, what's up, Smitty Smith? Yeah, dude. Yeah, I just wanted to get this video out there because I just wanted to talk about the showcase, man. There was just like so much stuff going on today, and it was crazy. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining. Did you get to watch it, dude? And if you did, man, what did you think? But yeah. So that's the reason why just not giving a grade just to give a grade, dude. I'm a gamer and I'm an old school gamer. There's a lot of games that I like to play. Right? There's a lot of variety in games that I like to play, and I've been playing games so long, I know what I actually like and what I don't like. But because you have Game Pass, man, you're able to take a chance with some of these games. For me, I'm not gonna lie, dude. 90% of the time, when I look at a game and I'm interested in it, I'm gonna like it. Now, am I gonna like it enough to purchase it? That's another story. Yeah, you did. See, there you go, Smitty. Yeah, me too, man. I watched it technically like four times because I watched other. Well, I won't say four times, three times total. But then on top of the three times I watched it, um, I actually went and looked at reactions, and then I was looking at the actual trailers. Because I watched on Eroc's live stream that they had, and then had a discussion with on Hebot's podcast that he did. So I kind of wanted to soak it in a little bit more, let it kind of sit. I'll probably watch more of it tomorrow because there's just so much stuff to take in. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're right. It was crazy. Even on Eroc's live stream, man, I was sitting there. They were whipping through stuff so fast. Erock then was making comments like, we need to take a break because this is coming in fast and heavy, man. I even wrote down we need to take a halftime because there was just like one trailer after another, which of course we know is the reason why is because they would get a lot of hate for some of the other shows that they did. And right now, Microsoft has so much content. In fact, one of the things we talked about in Hebot's stream earlier today, in my opinion, man, some of these games might have got held back because they weren't ready, but I think some of them are being held back because they got to kind of juggle it around, right? So it's interesting to me that the games that they showcased that were delayed, um, yeah, the ones that were delayed, Redfall and Starfield, those are two kind of different games because Starfield is like a all-encompassing, basically open world type game, and then you have something like Redfall, which is more of a four-player party, shooter type game, along the veins of Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2. Right? It's games like that, so it's the kind of games that you can jump in. So like if that released within like 1 or 2 months of each other, that wouldn't be too bad. I mean, time is time, right? It's hard to find time for somebody like me, but still, the games are so different. I could play them back to back. Like if I had some time to kill and I play one game, for like 1 hour, then I can jump into the other game for an hour. Yeah, dude, thanks. Yeah, yeah, we he was nice enough to invite me. I try and jump in as much as I can. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was kind of overwhelmed because as we were having the podcast and I was listening to everything, I kind of got lost myself because I was still thinking about the showcase, man. Like I said, dude, that was a lot to digest. Like you said, you watched it twice. I watched it a couple times, like three times technically, and I still haven't really come to grips with everything. As I'm doing this right now, it's a lot to think about. And then also I'm thinking about the stuff behind the scenes. Like when it comes to Game Pass, like I mentioned that on the podcast with Hebot, for me, when we were talking about like the showcase itself, and I look at what Microsoft's doing, to me, Microsoft is like kind of planning ahead for the future. Yeah, yeah, dude, I know. Dude, I was in the same boat, dude. Like I said, tomorrow I have some time. I'll just let it run while I'm doing the work. Yeah, yeah, dude, it was awesome, dude. And that's what I was about to say. The reason why I gave it such a high grade is because, to me, man, I look at those games and I'll be playing all of them, or at least most of them. There's a game, for example, look, there's a game like Scorn, and I know Sega Man's huge on that game. I don't really care for horror games like that, especially games like that type of game, right? Because it's so graphic and what it's going to do, and I don't really like that. Dude, I had a hard time playing Gears of War once when that came out, dude, because it was so graphic. But I was playing it on a 4K monitor, man, and it's like everything looks so realistic, everything sticks out, right? So I mean, I could play it, man, but I'm not into gore. So that's what it looks like to me when I look at Scorn. It's more for people in the horror genre, most definitely. And so I say that, right? But I'm not going to also sit here just because I know I'm not going to play that game. It doesn't interest me. But I'm not going to sit here and say that the game is trash, right? Which is what a lot of people are saying right now. Even about Starfield, there's people talking all kind of crap about Starfield. And to me, that's what I mean when I say people aren't real gamers, right? Because to me, as a gamer, do you look at the game for what it is, right? And again, if the game is bad, it's usually to me there has to be like, like maybe it was released with bugs or the company released it and there was none of the stuff that they said that was supposed to be in there. The company lied. The gameplay wasn't what you expected. In fact, it's worse than what you expected. There's been some bad games been put out. Don't get me wrong, but like for me, a game of Scorn is a perfect example. I'm not going to play it, but it might be a solid game, right? I mean, I like the art style of it, man. I like that H.R. Geiger type of style. I just can't get down with the gore because it has that aliens look to it, which I think is really cool. But all the blood and guts and all that kind of stuff, dude, that bondage stuff, yeah, that's not me. So if that's what you're into, that's fine. And like I said, man, the mechanics might be solid, the story might be amazing, right? The graphics might be way surpass what we're seeing in the videos, and the gameplay might make sense for the horror aspect of it. Again, it's just that I'm not into those kind of games. So like, I'm not going to sit here and say that game's absolute trash just because it's not something I like. And that's a problem I have with a lot of people in gaming right now, dude. It's like they go with their feelings when they judge stuff as opposed to judging it as a gamer, right? So I mean, when I give my opinion on the showcase, it's coming straight from a gamer perspective. I'm an Xbody and I love Xbox. I love what they're doing. I love the ecosystem, but I can separate all of that. Right? I could put all of those things into their different boxes and judge things for what it is. And the most important thing to me about that showcase is they showed me stuff that I'm going to be playing. So that's 100 points right there for me. That's A+ right there. I would say 90%. Like I said, 90% of those games I'm going to download game one or day one and game on them. And on top of that, there's games I already know I'm going to buy. Like they had that game. Let me see if I can remember what it is. Dude, hold on. I'm looking. I'm gonna have to pull up a thing because there's like so much, dude. There was like so much stuff shown. It wasn't even. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. Like I couldn't get over how many videos. I mean, how many games they showcased today. And that's why again I keep on bringing this up, but I have to. Dude. This is why I don't trip over stuff getting delayed because I'm fighting just to get my stuff, the stuff that I like. I'm trying. I'm still trying to play the games that are already out on Game Pass, and then I have a backload of stuff too. But like a game like Ravenlock, that's one that Unlimited liked. Yeah, but a game like that, dude, that game just that when I first saw that, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm definitely gonna purchase that because I know who the developer is, and I already like Echo Generations. They did Echo Generations, and they put that game day one on Game Pass, and I love that game. That game's amazing. So I already know I'm gonna pick up Ravenlock. It's a no brainer to me because what it looks like to me, and I know it's their version of like Alice in Wonderland kind of thing. But what it looks like to me is they took what they had from Echo Generations, which was a smaller game, and just took everything they learned and just put it into a game and just blew it out the water. It's just like that sequel, that sequel to a movie that's amazing. Yeah, dude, people are dismissive. It's crazy. And some of these people are jaded, man. Because I was watching some of the because what the Jeff Keighley thing kicked off on Thursday. This whole game thing. Well, Nerd Week was last week technically, Geek Week and Nerd Week was technically last week. It started off on Monday, and I'm talking about like Netflix was doing stuff, all these different people doing stuff because I follow pop culture as well, and so Jeff Keighley I think kicked it off on Thursday with his game thing. So Microsoft having the press conference as early as they did, right? Some of these journalists and stuff or influencers, man, they just look tired when they were when they were reacting to this stuff. It was funny to me, and there was great reactions as well. Yeah, Flintlock. Yeah, yeah. What is that? I remember that's the one with the. Which one is that, dude? I know. Dang. Yeah, Flintlock looked amazing, and that's another day one Game Pass game. I don't see it. Yeah, I know which game you're talking about though. I think that's the one where the girl she's in the shadows. Is that the one? Yeah, Erebon. Yeah, that's the one. Erebon Shadow Legacy. Yeah, yeah, dude. That trailer was pretty cool. It has a little bit of action and stealth mixed together. I definitely like the art style, and that's what I'm talking about, man. I mean, it's funny to me that people will put up stuff. And look, dude, no hate to the PlayStation side. I mean, I hate the ponies, but I was talking to the boys earlier about this, man. It's like I wouldn't care anything about PlayStation, dude. I mean, the only problem I have with these dudes, man, is they come in our side, dude, and they just talk trash. They're just not happy. It's like they're not happy with their own stuff. But when you look at what PlayStation has, a lot of their stuff does look similar, man. Now, if the game is solid, the game is solid. But when you look at a lot of their games, they all look the same, man. At least on this side, dude, you have games that, like I said earlier, at least by either design or by look or by gameplay, are just so diverse. Yeah, dude. Yep. Yep. Both of those games, man. Both of those games are. Come on, dude. Again, the narrative that Xbox has no AAA games. That's dude. That's grasping at straws at this point. And that's gonna be sad for these guys. These people that hate like they do. Once it releases on Xbox, and for the Series X and S, yeah, they are angry, man. They have no joy, bro. They really have no joy. That's why I say these guys don't game, man. Dude, these guys are watching our these guys are watching our event and they're commenting and they're commenting in detail, which means they watched the whole thing. It blows my mind. I would never do something like that, dude. I just went and watched Top Gun on Saturday. Me and my friend went and checked it out. Because I love the original movie, and he's a huge fan of the original movie. So he's like, "Hey, man, you want to check out the new Top Gun?" I was like, "Yeah," because my kids don't want to watch it with me, right? That's like, that's like a dad movie, like an old movie. And that's funny too, because when I get it, when it comes out, they're gonna like it. I know they will. But that movie was awesome, bro. Right? So I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about these Sony guys, dude. It's like they got nothing else to do. Dude, like, so if I didn't want to go see Top Gun, dude, I wouldn't have gone and seen it, man. But I wanted to watch it. It was awesome and fine. But if I knew the thing, yeah, Maverick. Sorry, dude, it was awesome, man. If you like the original, you'll love this. You'll love this. Like, I don't know if you're a fan of Cobra Kai on Netflix, but it's kind of like that. Like, they took what the Karate Kid was and they added stuff to it, but they still keep the respect of the Karate Kid, the original movies. In fact, the way that they the way that they evolved the story in Cobra Kai is kind of the same thing, and they kind of did that with Top Gun, Maverick. Sorry, yeah, not the original Top Gun, the Top Gun Maverick. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the original, but yeah, dude, I would recommend the theater. Yeah, if you like the first Top Gun, you'll like this one. Trust me, because even though all this time has passed, it's amazing how they were able to connect from current time to back then, and it's not in that crappy nostalgia way that just thrown in there, just to make you feel good, dude. They really it's intertwined in the story and the characters, and it's pretty well done. I was blown away by it. It was way more better than I thought it was. I was just gonna be happy to see him flying, being Tom Cruise flying jets, but you know, it's cool, man. And they did some throwback stuff that I didn't even see coming. So that's why I like the movie too, man, because they did stuff in there I didn't think they were gonna do, and they did it really well. Yeah, it's. I would recommend again watching it in the theater, just because if you can get IMAX, I wasn't able to get IMAX, but the theater that I went to had stadium seating at least, and it's a good screen, man. And it had the surround sound. The surround sound was nuts, dude. Our seats were shaking because there's a lot of scenes with the jets flying around. So I would recommend watching it on a big screen just for that. And a lot of the shots too are made for a theater. Like the original Top Gun. A lot of those shots that they show, like those panning shots and stuff like that. Yeah, it's made for it's made to be watched in the theater, bro. But yeah, dude. I mean, and there's like people now, as amazing as Starfield was, what they showed today, because the gripe about it was we got the trailer right, then it got delayed, then everybody lost their mind. So people was demanding to see something about Starfield. Where are they at? How far are they? And if you know Bethesda and you know Tom Howard, right? Because I've been playing Bethesda games for a long time. Um, you know, you kind of have to take stuff with a grain of salt and just wait. That's just the way it is with them, you know. And I know they're with Microsoft now, so I think their load's been lifted a little bit more. There's not as much pressure, right, to perform, right? And they needed. I feel like they needed to do something a little bit different, not just for the gamers or the people complaining. I'm talking about like for themselves too, because when you're creative, right, it's when you're creative, you have to be able to expand on your boundaries and stuff. Oh dang, dude, it's 4:37, dude. Are you at work or something? Because it's like 10 o'clock here, 10:30. I was gonna knock this out, play some games, and then I gotta go to work tomorrow too. Yeah, but that's why I'm so hyped about Starfield, man, because it's gonna be something that's kind of like his magnum opus. And look, whether he achieves that or not, we can't say until we play the game. But from what I saw today, I was impressed. Oh yeah, you're lucky, dude. But I was impressed with what they showed. I like the trailer. I like the gameplay. I can see where some people are saying, the look of the characters. I mean, they definitely look better than Bethesda, but I guess that Valley of the Dolls look people were complaining about that I saw, and I can kind of see that, right? But I don't know if that's how the final of the game's going to look when they finally release it. For all we know, this could be just a quick build. So I can see people talking about that. But as far as the worlds, the size, the character creation stuff looks better. Um, better than ever. And then, of course, the stuff that really stood out to me was the shipbuilding was really cool. On top of the worlds, look, I mean, I want to play Starfield because, like I said on Erox, when Erox then was streaming, I put in the comments that Starfield for me is like my new Star Trek. That's the kind of vibe I get for it. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I mean, I'll find out when I play the game. But I'm just so ready for something that's a little bit. I'm pretty sure they'll have some the trappings of Bethesda because it's a Bethesda game. But I'm ready to escape post-apocalyptic stuff. I want to move on to something that's a little bit more hopeful. And I know there's going to be stuff in Starfield that's going to be challenging, but just to look at the game right now and then the premise of the game, which would be space exploration. So of course, as you go into different planets trying to find resources and stuff, there was a part in the video where they showed looks like you'll be working and you could be working for like a mining corporation or a mining conglomerate. Dude, if that's part of if that world building or if that open world type buildings in that game, dude, I could just be stuck doing that because I love doing that kind of stuff. That's the kind of games that I like. In fact, there was another game that stood out to me. Um, Man, I want to see. I want to be able to. I don't want to get the wrong. Um, Hold on, let me find this title because I don't want to get the wrong. Dude, I can't find it. It's like what is it? Ah, man, it's called. Yeah, I don't know what I can't think of it right now. But there was another game that they showed that was like that I thought was really cool. Right, and as soon as I saw that trailer, so basically it showed like a robot dropping from space, and then land crash landing. His vehicle crash lands, and then he slams into the surface of the planet, and then he just basically starts building like a farm and growing food and gathering materials. I can't remember the name of it, dude. But that's the kind of game, like those kind of games, I'll be definitely playing because that's the kind of games that I'm into, big time. So yeah, so of all the shows, all the games that they showed, definitely Redfall is up there for me. Redfall was a pleasant surprise because we just got a trailer last year, and then of course that game was delayed as well. So it was nice to see gameplay, and the game plays exactly like I wanted to. Yeah, dude, that customization at Starfield. Yeah, I agree. Dude, I'm gonna have to like. I know my daughter's gonna want to play because my daughter's into which cracks me up because I never thought she'd be into Fallout, but she's been playing Fallout. I think finished Fallout 3. She's on Fallout 4. She doesn't really like Fallout 76, but I don't think it's so much the game as opposed to its online. She's not a big online person unless it's like a game like Overwatch. Yeah, Benedict. Man, what the heck was that? Yeah, I know which game you're talking about, dude. In fact, I think that was the one that Unlimited was really high on, like the Tale of Benedict something. Hold on, dude. Yeah, the last case of Benedict Fox. Yeah, that thing looked amazing. And there's people out there that look at that kind of game and they're like, "Oh, this looks like a dumb indie game." I was like, you can tell that they don't play Game Pass. I don't even think they play games. That's what drives me nuts about people now, man. These indie games they have now are not like the indie games from back in the day. And the indie games in the back in the day were kind of hit and miss, but you played them because you might find something that you really like. They're not as thought out as much. They're usually done by like one person. And I'm not saying that's bad, right? It is what it is. And like I said, you play this game and there might be something that you find that you love. That's one of the great things about being a gamer, right? Is finding that next big thing, regardless if it's AAA or not. But these indie games now, dude, they're equivalent. The indie games of today are equivalent to double A of yesterday. You know what I'm saying? They're like in the early 2000s. These games now are on that level of double A type games. And I'll be honest with you, man. A lot of people like myself, dude, I'm rediscovering gaming again. I mean, I'm a gamer. I always play games, but these games are helping me to enjoy. It's kind of like what I said about Todd Howard, needing to branch out a little bit more and create something that's different. Every gamer is like that too, because things can get stale, man, real quick. So you have these infusions of games that take you out of your comfort zone, and infusions of games that make you, that put you on a whole new path of what gaming's all about. And like I said, these things are not crappy, man. Because I've been playing the games in Game Pass, man, and then my opinion was okay. There's probably some. I know there's some good ones in there, as you can tell just by watching or looking at the trailers or doing your research. And then some games I thought, well, maybe I like that and stuff like that. That looks interesting. But then you end up playing them, and then next thing you know, dude, you got like over what maybe 40, 50 games in your queue, and you kind of just trying to play catch up. Dude, I have to actually schedule my gameplay time. Um, and I'm not talking I have to make a total calendar for it, but I try and work around my schedule now so that I can get some gaming in, man, because I got so many games that I want to play. Yeah, dude, exactly. Because people never factor in when it comes to some of these games. Like replay factor. That was something that was big when we were growing up, man. Because time in game meant something, right? Because even 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit era, you're still paying $60 for games, man. You're trying to convince your parents to buy you that. So, and then for yourself as well, man, you wanted a game that you would be playing that had some longevity. This is how everybody found out where all the secret zones were in Mario, man. Because Mario was one game that a lot of people had because it came with the system. So there was people that were just trying to do stuff in the game, man, to have fun with it, to extend the life of it. And then they found out all the secret stuff, which I thought was pretty cool at the time. And it's kind of like with Halo, man. Halo itself, like it revolutionized the shooting genre. But a lot of the people I knew, at least the people that got me into Halo, they would do stupid stuff like try and stack warthogs using the grenades, stuff like that. And it's not dumb stuff as in bad, but just stuff that people were like, hey, because of the way the physics were in the game, right? And that's gave that game longevity, and got made it so popular. But yeah, I agree with you, man. Indie scene is way different, but a lot of these guys, man, and it's ironic because the people on hate on indie games the most were the guys that were screaming how good it was back in 2013. In fact, Microsoft got a lot of crap for not having indie games because indie games are so important. But once Microsoft actually got into that scene and actually flipped it, right, and actually created ID at Xbox, all of that went away, and they had to find something else to complain about. But they're running out of excuses. And then when you watch a showcase like this, again, it just shows you, man, that these people are just haters, man. Again, I'll say it, dude. I know people don't like when I say this, but I say these dudes ain't gamers. Because if you can watch a showcase like this and think it's crappy, or that you can't find anything, man, you better check your gamer card. Because like you were saying, Urban, I mean, look, you don't know until you play the game how the gameplay is going to be, but it at least looks interesting, at least by concept and premise, right? Ravenlock was another one, right? Um, they got the Persona games that everybody was so high on that everybody was begging for Xbox to get involved with Japanese game, and that's a whole nother story. Because on Twitter, man, I don't believe anything people on Twitter say. It's all reactionary and emotionally driven. I don't even know if these people would play Persona. I played one Persona game. It was a fighting game. It was really cool. I like the art style. That's why I got it. Because at the time I was playing Arc Systems and Blaze Blue, so I like those games, right? So it was in that same vein. I like the art style. That's what drove me to it, you know. And being growing up on Street Fighter, it was a no brainer. And that was like that re-evolution of the fighting game, back to the 2D style of animated look and gameplay. Yeah, dude, they pretty much abandoned it. And then, I mean, I don't know, make it a focus, man. I see some ponies will be like, "Oh yeah, we're getting that on PlayStation as well." I was like, "Oh, good for you, man. I hope you enjoy it, dude. I doubt you play it because it's not a triple A banger you guys always talk about. These dudes, they always catch themselves in their own crap, dude. These guys never, dude, they never learn." Yeah, dude. I mean, I love Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 2, I like that as well. Um, I kind of fell off after that game, right? I know there's other games that came along, but I was playing other stuff. Man, I think I was in Halo. I was playing like Halo, and then COD eventually took over. So there was other stuff that took, that I started playing. But yeah, dude, that was funny, man, because everybody was putting a petition out. I don't know if you saw that. People were selling, like signing a petition to have Kojima not put a game on Xbox. I thought that was funny. But Kojima being who he is, and I think that was perfect what he said, because he's doing it with Xbox, not because of a culture war, not to get back at anybody else on the PlayStation side, even though the fanboys over there think so. But he's doing it for himself. That's why he does things, right? I'm sure Phil then gave him a good, you know, spiel about selling him on Xbox, but Kojima does stuff, man. He does things for himself, which I'm not saying that's bad, right? Because he's a creative. Amongst a lot of the developers, he's a creative, right? So, you know, the reason why you said, of course, was because of technology, right? He wants to try something new, well, that's what his other game was that they love so much. So, dude, yeah, those guys are always wrong. In fact, you know what I do, man? I don't listen to our side. The Xbox, the supposed Xbox insiders. I never listen to those dudes, man, because they're like, I would say like they're 95% wrong. And then the stuff that they get right, you can kind of figure that out yourself if you if you follow Xbox, right? But what I do is I look at the PlayStation guys and what they say. Because if the PlayStation guys say something like Xbox is gonna die, or Xbox is not gonna get this, or Xbox won't be able to do that, or nobody's gonna get Xboxes, every time they say something like that, they always take an L. So to me, they got a better track record than the influencers on the Xbox side. Every time, like when they're saying Kojima would never work, I'm like, dude, it's gonna happen. Just because they said it, dude. They just got bad karma, man. And they deserve it too, man, because they always do that. They always put their foot in their mouth, man. It's hilarious. Was there any other games that you thought was awesome? Like I know they had the Plague Tale Requiem. I mean, I had like for me, I had Redfall, and then the one that totally caught me off guard when they're showing was High on Life. I had no idea what that game was or that it was coming to Xbox, but that trailer was awesome. That trailer was so amazing, dude, to me because I'm a huge fan of Oddworld Leaves. Stranger's Wrath. That was like one of my favorite games back in the day. And it was that kind of perspective, and then you could switch it. You have these guns, and then you can switch out your ammunition, and then the ammunition had like a life of its own, like it had its own character to it. Yeah, so that kind of caught me off guard. I was really happy about that. And then of course Forza, like you mentioned that earlier. Forza looked amazing, and you know it would, dude. I had a feeling that it would because Forza Horizon 5 looked. Was it on 5? Yeah, Forza Horizon 5, right where I'm right now. But that game was when that hit, that thing hit hard, man. Because it's just that telemic that what do they call it? Dang, I can't think. But that photorealistic graphics that they have, that thing blew people away, man. That's why it sold so much. That's why it's had such a big following. People are still playing it now because it brought like the real world to life in a video game. You know, when you going across those tracks or you're going across country, wherever you're going, dude, it just looks so realistic. You know, that's the next level of gaming that I am expecting from Microsoft going forward. So I think I could kind of understand why some people are disappointed when they looked at Starfield, because I think they're expecting that type of fidelity in the game. And then when you saw the first trailer, it looked really cool. I mean, like to me, there's like a game can have a certain look. That's the artistic style, right? That's the look that they go with, man. That's either artist created or they decided to do it because that's the world they want, how they want to present it. I'm not talking about that. I'm just like the overall, how clean is everything? You know, like is everything in place, out of place? The Valley of the Doll type of look that people are complaining about. So I'll be honest with you. For me, that's what I was hoping Starfield would be that next step, especially with the power of the X. I'm still holding on hope, man. It doesn't come out till next year. Hopefully, they can touch it up a little bit more. But regardless about how you feel, the overall look of the characters are in the game, like you were saying earlier, dude, you can't. That character customization is off the charts. The worlds are absolutely huge. Um, when they're showing the gunplay, I was really impressed because it plays a little bit more like um, what is that, dude? Why am I drawing a blank? Like a Call of Duty, right? You know, with that first person perspective when you aim down the sights. Like the gunplay looks a little bit more tighter than other Fallout games that Bethesda's done, and the shipbuilding was amazing, right? The customization looks beyond even what the character customization is because it's going to have real world effects on your ship. Hopefully, that's what I'm looking at, and just the expanse of the worlds, of their universes. There's multiple. It's one thing I thought they were going to be within like one or two galaxies, but no, dude, he said hundreds of worlds that can be explored. Hey, what's up, Spencer? Yeah, welcome to the podcast, dude. Looks like they had some Japanese stuff. Yeah, yeah, yep. And like I said, that persona was the persona thing was funny, dude. The persona thing was funny because people were like, "Nah, I don't think they're gonna get it," and all those people that were hopeful for it. Yeah, it was like a talking point on Twitter for the longest time. Yeah, Wukong. Is it what is it? Oh, sorry, guys. You know what I should have done? I should have wrote all this stuff down because there was two. There was Naraka Blade Point, but it looks awesome, right? It kind of looks like what it reminded me of? Not in look, but it was just a concept, right? Because you'll be playing. Well, I think it's a game where everybody will have a fighter and there's 60 fighters and you're all fighting. I don't know if you're fighting each other or an objective or whatever. I gotta dig into that. But that game looks super cool. And then the other one was I know which one you're talking about, dude. But that looks sick as well. I think some of the concerns that people had was that it was going to play Wolong Fallen Dynasty. It looks like a game that was going to play like Souls. So I know a lot of the guys that I follow on like on the Xbox podcast and stuff like that. They don't care for those guys, and I honestly I don't like those kind of games either. But it's what who is it? Koei Tecmo is doing it, so maybe it'll be a little bit more like a Dynasty Warriors type game. Crossing my fingers, man. I want it to be more. My point is that I want it to be more action oriented. Yeah, Wolong. Yeah, thanks, Minnie. Sorry, I'm bouncing between screens here. Hey, what's up, Isa? Yeah, I agree. Good to see Japanese games coming to Game Pass. It's been a long time since Xbox had them. I remember when Xbox 360 had some bangers. Yeah, yeah, back in the day, man. In fact, you can get a lot of them in back compat now. They were so good, and that was, if you remember, bro, that was during that time when some of the Japanese developers were trying to cross over and do and appeal more to Western gamers, but it just didn't work out, dude. I just think the timing was bad. If I think if they do it now, it'll be more than easy for them to convert over. Just because, like, dude, I'm old and I watch anime with my kids. My Hero Academia is like one of my favorite animes right now. I've been watching that. I watched Doctor Stone with my kids. Um, what's the other one I just watched? Log Horizon. Love that one. I actually got a subscription to Crunchyroll, so me and my kids watch it all the time, dude. So for the generational skip or that generational gap, that was between the two cultures is practically been erased, man. In fact, right now everybody's switching over to Korean stuff, Korean pop culture stuff too. It's huge. So I live in Hawaii, guys. Maybe not without throughout the whole of the U.S. Right, but I can tell you, I know a lot of people across the country watch K dramas and people are into anime and stuff like that. Rightfully so, man. They got good content. They actually do a lot of stuff that we used to do back in the day here in the States, but they do it with their own little twist. Yeah, dude, no souls, malarkey. Yep. Everybody. That's the only complaint I see about that game is people are worried that because if you're not a souls type player, right? Now I haven't played Elden Ring. Elden Ring looks pretty cool, but if it plays like Souls, I can't hang with it. But if you like that kind of game, man, then more power to you. Then that's another one to add to the another bullet in the round in the chamber, man, because that's just another one that Microsoft's adding into there, man. Like I said, if you look at this list of stuff, and I know like a lot of these games, not every person will like, right? But it's just that they try and capture so much different genres within the gaming, and they also do like cross genre pollination. You know what I mean? So there might be something that you might like. That's like maybe you like platformers and stuff like that, but then it might have RPG elements or action elements with RPG stuff, or something that's animated, but like an anime type game, but it's like a fighting game or open world. You can see that they're trying to hit everything, and I guess that's what people mean when there's everything in the kitchen sink, right? But yeah, let me. Is there any other games that you guys do? Because I'm being serious, man. Like 90%, 95% of the games, I'm going to be playing day one when they release in Game Pass. Because I don't even think they went over Dark Tide. That's another game that I'm looking forward to play. That's like high on my list because I love Warhammer. Warhammer is awesome. What's the name of it? Warhammer Vermintide. Dude, I was playing that game nonstop. I was hooked to that. The only thing that took me off of or I was playing both of them at the same time with Killing Floor. So I love games like that. Again, that's why I'm big on Redfall, and that's why I'm looking forward to Dark Tide. The other one was Grounded. That's a game that came out in preview. So I played it. I kind of got through it pretty quick because you couldn't do, there's very few that you can do. And then they added stuff onto it. But by that time, I had already been started playing other stuff, right? And so I was happy to see that they actually got the full game coming out in October. So I'll jump back in with that when that happens. Yeah. And more, I'll be honest with you, that Dark Tide, I'm going to buy it. Oh, which one is that? Oh, dude, sorry, man. Is my feed still? All right. Can I? Dude, let me pop this up. There we go. Yeah, dude. Yeah, agree. 100%. It'll never shake that moniker though. And they do have the shooter games on there, but that's not. Yeah, I'm so happy that Phil's in charge, man, because Phil's like trying to cover every single thing. Because that's the kind of gamer that Phil is, man. Phil's like a real gamer. He came up with the old school Xbox guys, man. When they were trying to break in, they were trying to turn Microsoft. They were trying to get Microsoft to take gaming more seriously. He's from that crew. So to see him do what he's doing, yeah, I agree with you, man. But these dudes won't let it go, and I'm happy, dude, because I love shooters. That works out for me. A side scroller with the medieval look. I wonder how it plays. Which game is that, dude? Side scroller with the medieval look. Uh, I don't. I'm looking. Yeah, don't mind me, man. If you guys want to write any comments, go ahead. I'm actually looking through the games that they're talking about. Yeah, dude. I'm not sure. I don't think you're talking about the last case of Benedict Fox, right? That's not medieval though. Uh, yeah, dude. If you remember, let me know, dude. I definitely want to check it out. I'm on Xbox Wire. Yeah, dude. If you guys are into Xbox Wire, dude, that's where I get all my information from. Because it's kind of like the official Xbox, newspaper, lack of a better term. Dang, I don't know. I don't see it, bro. Yeah, let me know, man. I definitely want to see which one that is. Yep, Smitty, I'm getting it too. Oh, Pentiment? Was that the one by Obsidian? Pentiment's the one. Oh, wait. Dude, hold on. Let me see. Ah, yeah, yeah. That is the Obsidian one. Yep. Yeah, dude, that game looks awesome too. Yeah, that's the day one for me. Well, that's in Game Pass, so. That's okay, Spencer. Yeah, I think it's a Pentiment that you're talking about. Yeah, that game looked pretty cool. Yeah, Obsidian, man. Obsidian is no joke. Those dudes are like, they put in that work. In fact, they're one of the, I think they're them and NXL are the two companies, man, that are really high on being with Microsoft. Ah, dude, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I just, there's like so many. You know what? Like I said, I should have wrote this stuff down. Dude, what did you guys think about the Riot Games announcement? Oh, I don't know if that's Pentiment though. Because Pentiment is that game that you're back in like the, I don't want to say Dark Ages, like Old English Age. Okay, investigative RPG. I think that might be the other one, the Curious Case of, I can't remember. Is that dude's name? The Last Case of Benedict Fox, maybe. I think that's might be the one. But are you guys big on Riot Games at all? Because I thought that announcement was huge, man. When I saw that, like after Sarah Bond was talking, and then they were saying they're making another deal, and it was Riot Games. I was like, dude, that's humongous. Yeah, and I think that was the point. Yeah, good point, man. Good point, Spencer. Oh, dude, hey Smitty, yeah, dude, I can't play Outer Worlds, man. I get sick, dude. I get nauseous. I was so upset, dude, because I was playing, I was trying to play, dude, and I just felt like throwing up. I don't know. There's like certain games now I can't play, like Minecraft, like the original Minecraft. I have a hard time playing that. There's just something about the way the things move now. Like, thank God I can still play shooters though. Like I play Halo and COD, no problem. But um, my daughter actually beat Outer Worlds. She saw me playing it, and then I couldn't play, so she continued and she went through the whole game. She loved it. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Like I said, Spencer, I think that's why Microsoft did that. I wouldn't be surprised if they come to console. Well, I don't know if that's. I guess it would depend on the deal that Riot had for them. I mean, this might actually get me to start playing PC a little bit more because there's other games on PC that I like playing, but they tend to be more of the strategy stuff because it's easier, right, to use a move around with the mouse and use the keyboard. But I'm not like when I watch people play. League of Legends and stuff like that, it blows my mind how they play with a keyboard and a mouse. Like, I know I'm not gonna do really well on it. Yes, I was hoping League of Legends was coming to Xbox. Oh, okay, yeah. But that could change, dude. That could change. Maybe Phil can work something out with them. But I know they definitely want to increase their PC stuff. That's their focus. They really want to get, man, Microsoft's been trying to get their Windows gaming up and running for the longest time, dude. They just never got, that same type of respect. And then you got Steam and all these other stuff. Because my son, he used to play Xbox. Then he started hanging out with his friends. He built a PC, and that was it. Like he left me in the dust. And the funny thing, man, he'd always come to me and want to play, but I'd be busy sometimes. Now he's like he doesn't even, dude. I lost him. He's with his friends on playing Steam, and I know because I buy him the cards so that he can get the games and stuff that he wants. Yeah, Minecraft Legends, dude. That's another one. I didn't get a chance to really talk about that in the podcast earlier, but I actually like Minecraft Dungeons. That game is solid, dude. I mean, for what it is, and I know they've added. I need to go back and start playing it because I know they've added stuff to increase well, not so much the size, but the playability is definitely higher now because of some of the stuff they did, some of the tweaks and stuff that they were able to add to the game. So I definitely want to go back and play Minecraft Dungeons, and now I got a reason to do that because I want to get back and I want to try Minecraft Legends when it comes out. Dude, Minecraft is a cash cow for Microsoft. I don't think people understand that. Like for some of the stuff that Microsoft does when they do these showcases that people complain about, I don't think they understand the bigger picture. Like you were saying about the PC mobile market, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why they teamed up with Riot Games and did what they did, right? Because they want those things, they want that to grow. Like you're saying, man, Microsoft wants Xbox, PC, mobile to be all encompassing. When they get Activision, which I know that should be happening soon. And then they have King, right? And King does Candy Crush. Everybody at my workplace plays Candy Crush. They would always ask me if I play Candy Crush, and I started playing it, man. But I just didn't like that money. It felt like a money grab to me, man. If I'm being honest, no hate, right? And even though Microsoft has it, I just can't see myself playing that game like that. And these guys that I'm talking about that I work with, they're not like gamers at all, but they're on their phones all the time, and so I've seen them, dude, and they'll complain to me about how much money they spend on that. Some of these people spend money. They could have bought like an Xbox Series X with the SSD, 2 terabyte thing, and some games. I mean, that's how much they play because they complain about like, some of them have. I know one of my friends, man. The wife told him to knock it off, dude. She was pissed. He's spending so much money. I mean, the dude's not poor. He's got a good job, but I guess the wife saw how much he was spending, man, and she lost her mind, dude. I was like, dude, you better knock that off, man, or you might be signing papers, bro. You gotta handle your business. Of course, that's easy for me to say because I don't play it, but no, it was serious, dude. Like with him, it was really serious, dude. She was not messing around. Yeah, it looks cool, man. I was surprised. I think they're taking a lot of the stuff that they worked in with Dungeons, of course, and just expanded it. And then the style, the way they made it look, it kind of looked almost like Borderland. Unless I'm mistaken, maybe it was the feed, but it kind of looked like kind of Borderland-esque. Because I just bought my daughter Tiny Tina's Adventure. She loves that game, so I've been watching her play that. I like the art style of Borderlands. Oh yeah, they have more entertaining parts of speed. And yeah. You know what? You know what it is was when people see Minecraft, man, they just think of it as a kids game. But you play Dungeons, man, you die. I went in there, I was like just ripping through stuff. I was like, oh, okay, I figured it'd be so easy, but you hit a couple of levels, man, and what do you call that, dude? You don't put the right stuff on. You get in trouble real fast. Because a lot of times I just play by myself, which is fun. I just love running on the maps. I just love the look of the game, man. I love that 8-bit style. I'm old school, so the way that they're able to do 8-bit games now just blows my mind, dude. We've come a long way. We just need Xbox to keep physical releases for as long as possible. They will, dude. That stuff won't go away anytime soon. They can't, dude. They can't. Because, until Microsoft can actually fulfill, like I would say maybe 50% of their world domination plan. But until then, they got a long way to go. Because a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, and I'm being a little bit selfish, but I'll be honest with you guys. Because like where I live, dude, I live in an island in the middle of the Pacific. And the fact that you can connect wirelessly with stuff is amazing, but the cloud doesn't really work for me. And a lot of the stuff that they were doing, I'm pretty sure there's spots in the world that it's not going to be, they won't be able to pull it off. Not now anyway. Maybe in a couple years. So I know that they're moving fast with that. They're trying to get ahead of it because that's their money maker as well. You know, they want to be ahead of that, which I totally hope they will be. But yeah, as far as the physical man, I don't see that going away anytime soon. Because they've been trying to get people to buy digital, and it's happening. But look how long it took. You know, games are different from music. Music was just a hop, skip, and a jump. That's why those record companies are scared. But with the game, man, people, especially old school gamers, man, they're possessive about their games. I have no idea why people buy multiple new releases at $7 a piece when Game Pass exists. That's so much money just to play 4 to 5 games. Yeah, dude, and it blows my mind that we're going to be paying that. The last time I saw games expensive was $80. It's when I lived in Florida. Then I went to a Toys R Us, and every game on the aisle was $80. That's how crazy it was back then. But that was with cartridges and stuff like that. Why these things are that much money? Right. This is why I think one of the reasons why I equate it to the same thing like a big Hollywood blockbuster, right? They have to put so much money into the paying the celebrity, and well, that's not even a point anymore. But they still got to pay the people and the production costs, but the advertising and stuff like that. And you want to get the biggest draw, so you get the special effects. You know, like a lot of the comic book movies, right? So that just drives the cost up more and more, and that's what I feel like with a lot of these AAA games. This is why, look, dude, if you like PlayStation, so be it. I'm not a PlayStation dude, and no hate, but a long time ago, I just my taste diverse kind of got away from that type of games that they like over there. But for me, man, I think this is happening because these games cost so much, and people aren't buying it on the level that they need it to be. I'll say this all the time, dude. If you have a user base of 100 million and you're only selling less than 10% to your base of the product that you're producing, that's a problem. And I think that's why Microsoft got ahead of that because they saw that. They crunched the numbers and they saw it. And that's why you have Game Pass. Because basically, the way Game Pass, right, you are paying it up front, right? You're paying for that subscription service. You're just not feeling it as much as if you're paying $70. And the way Game Pass works, you're getting so much value from that, from that $9.99 or $14.99, depending on what you're playing, right? You get a bunch of games that you can try out. And then, just it's basically like the old school, man. It's like a demo. It's like a demo disc, right? A way better than a demo disc, right? Because you get actual games you can download them and play them. But that gives value to them, and I don't think people understand when Microsoft's paying these companies. That's why a lot of people say Microsoft's losing money, but it's similar to what Netflix does, right? Netflix will pay for the content, though limited, right? But the goal is to get everybody into the service. That's what they're doing that for. So by paying the people out or covering their costs or doing whatever they do, however they get these people to come in here to bring their games in here day one, right? And then Microsoft making it on the back end with those subscriptions, right? That's what's driving this engine. That's what's driving the money aspect of it, which makes perfect sense to me, dude. I mean, if you're only paying $9.99, and that's why people are like, well, it's like $60 game, but you're only paying 99. But I'm like, yeah, dude, but that's a month, and then you multiply that by 25 million people a month paying that. And I believe the 25 million because I think Game Pass has actually more subscribers. But when Microsoft gets their numbers, they don't want to give it like I'll be honest with you, they might have like about 40 million, but maybe it's people that are like me. I got grandfathered into the program, so I had like 2 years because I had so much Xbox Live, right? And they converted it over. So I'm pretty sure there's people like that. Also, you got to take into account the people that will leave the system, right? It's like any other subscription service, right? You know. But as far as like the current economy and the way the economy is, Game Pass is just it's a godsend, man. I mean, dude, anybody that's strapped for cash right now, dude, they can afford $9.99 a month. Yeah, Game Pass, yeah, Game Pass can make some of these games safer than the whole microtransaction system. Yeah, true, true. It's forcing people to be a little bit more accountable when it comes to stuff like that. The microtransaction stuff on some of the stuff. Like if I like something, I'll pay for it. But people definitely, some of these companies do get carried away. One of the things I don't like about the companies now is that they think there's a game like Fortnite, which to me is like lightning in a bottle. That game was super huge. It just hit. Like I had my nephew. One of my nephews came to me because I had an additional Xbox. Now you gotta understand, dude. I'm the only one in my family that plays games. So my nephew's he's younger. He was starting off high school, and so he came to me and he asked me because my family is the kind they do outdoor stuff, right? They go camping, right? They go fishing, they go surfing, they do all that stuff, right? So when he came to me and wanted to use my Xbox, I said, yeah, sure. It kind of surprised me, but then I found out he played Fortnite, and then he kind of got in trouble. In fact, he went and got a job so he could buy stuff because he couldn't get money from the mom, right? So it was cool to kind of see that, right? That dynamic. Um, but yeah, that's the problem with these corporations when they do these microtransactions. They think they're gonna, I wish some of them would look at their game and look at the content and what they're trying to sell. And I think that will absolutely help them because not every game needs to be microtransaction. And again, I think it's smarter what Microsoft's doing because they put in their DLC, at least the majority of it, right, with their games into Game Pass because again, they're getting that subscription service. They want you to stay in that ecosystem thing. Minecraft Dungeons was made with a lot of art. Yeah, yeah, and that's what matters, dude. That actually does matter. The people that do these games like Minecraft, that work on Minecraft, dude. They have, I know they have a background in dungeon crawlers, right? But you can tell that they actually had an affinity for Minecraft. Right? You know, it's similar to like I was telling Smitty Smith earlier that I went and watched Top Gun Maverick. So I remember the first Top Gun, loved it, and then I went to watch Top Gun Maverick, dude. It was really awesome, dude. I mean, all the time space or the time gap between the first Top Gun and this is substantial. So for them to be able to take this movie and make it connected to the movie back in the day, it was awesome, dude. And so I agree with you. Yeah, that makes all the difference in the world right here. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing out when it comes to these indie games as well. They just think again like indie games are stuff that just one and done's, not one and done's, but what I call bargain basement type of games, and they don't play them. And you can tell they don't play them because if they played them, they would know better. Yeah, the combat is very fun, and yeah, dude, it's challenging though. I don't think people realize how challenging that game is, but it's fun to play with different people too. Yeah, as long as they can maybe have physical Game Pass Cloud. Yeah, in fact, I think Microsoft they might announce it on Tuesday. People are there was rumors that they was going to announce this, but they want you to take your games that you own and put it on the cloud so you can access them anywhere. That was the next big thing. Kind of like Voodoo, like when Voodoo first came out, I had like DVDs, so I sent a couple of them in, and they converted it for me to digital. Yeah, dude, straight up, man. Economy's bad, man. I live in Hawaii, dude. Hawaii is absolutely nuts, man. I needed to go on a diet anyway, so it's funny because I went to see my doctor, so he was telling me about my diet, and I got some stuff like I got to get a lot of more iron and protein into my diet, but especially iron. So I actually went back to eating sardines, man, because when I was younger, dude, we were poor, so we'd eat stuff like sardines and rice and corned beef and onions, canned corned beef, Vienna sausage, eggs. So yeah, dude, you can still get sardines pretty cheap at Costco, and then it's good too because the sardines there I can eat those because it's in olive oil. I got to make sure it's not in like soybean oil because I get inflammation. But yeah, dude, I'm set. I'm set. And I got Game Pass, so when I get hungry, dude, I just play games. Yeah, true. Spencer, free to play is never really free. Yeah, dude, it amazes me, man, that people. Yeah, I guess that's just the times we live in, right? And then you have to have good discipline for some of this stuff, man. Like if I don't think your stuff is cool, I'm not gonna buy it. Yeah, I'm old school. I'm just like, dude, you gotta show me something, man. You gotta sell me on it, man. I miss the old school salesman, dude. People that would would try, They had that gift to sell stuff, right? Not anymore, man. People just step up to you, it's like, okay, where's my money? It's like Halloween now, man. You see the kids at Halloween? They just show up. Some of them like not even in costume, want candy. I was like, dang, really? Is this is that how it is now? You know who dresses in Halloween, man? Their parents. got their mom in hot nurse outfits and hot maid uniforms. It's crazy, dude. Anime. The kid just got a towel wrapped around his neck and got his face painted with like shoe polish or something, right? Trying to make like a mask, like a wrestling mask. But the mom dressed to the nines in an anime costume. It's crazy. It's crazy. What is this? Hey Smitty, yeah, facts. Free to play is free to start. It's like pole position, right? Get ready. So, what did you guys think of Overwatch 2, though? I'll probably be playing that because my daughter is looking at jumping back into that, the second game. So, I mean, if you can stay away from those loot crates, I know my daughter can't. But she got her own money now, so maybe she can. She's not coming from daddy. Top Gun Maverick is awesome. Oh, you saw it, Spencer? Yeah. Yeah, dude, because, the buzz was so high, but, the buzz is high on everything, right? But it's cool when the buzz is high and then you go and it actually exceeds your expectation. That's what happened with me. I kind of thought it was a good movie just because some of the people that saw it, man, they were telling me to go watch it. So I kind of, I tend to believe them because they're 80s guys like me. So when they were saying that I had to watch it, then they would say, they wouldn't even tell me, look, dude, just watch it, and you have to watch in the theater. So when I watched it, I was like, yep, they were right, dude. It was awesome. Dude, Tom Cruise still got it, man. That dude is still the man. There are strong indies, just hard to get the better ones attention. A few years ago, it was easier. Today, there are so many. It's a lot. Yeah, and that's something we kind of touched on this, and he bought. We got next podcast, right? We talked about this as something that I think Microsoft will have to look at, like they really have to look at, because I think that's going to be a problem for them. Right? They're going to have to find some way to get these games out there, because, like you said, dude, there's so many of them, and they're good. They're good, dude, and then the turnover now it's getting higher. So like for somebody like me, and I'm not saying I wasn't disappointed that Starfield was delayed. That's the game I was looking forward to playing the most this year. But there's a part of me that was like, well, maybe they'll give these other games chances. And I think honestly, I think that's something Microsoft is kind of looking at as far as the release schedule. Now, I think that's why they're pushing so hard for like they worked out this deal with Riot Games. They're trying to get all these third parties in. They're buying Activision, Blizzard, stuff like that, because they're trying to drive subscription, and they're trying to get a bunch of different people into the service so that they can just present the games and let people pick it, right? Because like some of these games, like how some people are saying about Sea of Thieves, why did they show Sea of Thieves and stuff like that? But they have big user bases. So the games that Microsoft has within Game Pass have a driving force as far as people that actually play the game. So that's all the stuff that they got to take into consideration, right? I don't envy anybody. Whoever has that on, I think it's probably Sarah Bond's team handling that. So whoever has that job, good luck to you. I wouldn't want to do it because that's something that's I don't know how they're gonna, because I can't really see any way for them to fix it, and they can't even look at someplace like Netflix, because Netflix has the same problem to this day, right? Like they got some algorithms on Netflix that, like for example, like I watched Squid Game, and the Squid Game, even before it became popular, it popped on my thing because I watched like Kingdom, Boys Over Flowers. There's a bunch of Korean dramas I watched, so naturally the algorithm would suggest Squid Game to me. So I watched it when it first came out and before it blew up. So, and I only knew that because I watched Korean dramas. I know Microsoft tries to do stuff like that, but that's not going to solve the entire issue. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to do some more ID at Xbox stuff, I guess. But with the pandemic, hopefully we go back to normal. That would help. Yeah, it really did deliver, though. Yep, I agree with you, bro. That was a 10 out of 10 for me. Microsoft and Nintendo attract some strong indie titles, but so many of the game journal ones get the attention. Yeah. Yeah, Nintendo kind of has a built-in audience with that because of the Switch, man. The way, because my daughter has a Switch. The only thing is like, I don't know how they would do that, but the pricing on Nintendo is still pretty high, right? For these indie titles, where a lot of them will drop into Game Pass. So what she does is she'll play it on Game Pass just because to save some money. But yes, a lot of those indie titles are the Switch is no joke, man. There's a reason why the Switch has such a strong user base, and sells out every month. And so or at least the sales are strong every month. Because I see my daughter using it, and it has that audience. That it has a built-in audience for generations, man. There's always going to be kids. So yeah, so I could see, yeah, for Nintendo, they're kind of bulletproof in that sense. Because my daughter will go to GameStop specifically to pick up games that her friends talk about. They're all into anime and stuff like that too. So let's see. I would like to see Itagaki, the maker of Devil's Third and Ninja Gaiden, to receive an Xbox Studio. Devil's Third was highly underrated. East meets West. Yeah, yeah, agreed. East meets West game. Yeah, dude, I think Itagaki's actually kind of put that out there, dude. Kind of like what Platinum did, right, for Microsoft. And Microsoft says they want Japanese talent, so I don't know what the problem is. And I'm still stuck on Sega personally, dude. Um, that would be like the best thing, man. If Microsoft actually bought Sega. Switch is great, but 30 frame per second, 720p is so hard to play when I'm used to it. Yeah, yep, I agree. I agree 100%. They're supposed to come with the higher what is that? Their screen's supposed to be what? Wasn't it supposed to be 4K or something? I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. Yeah, so that's why some of their games look the way they look, right? The type of games that they have. I'm not saying they're on that Sony level. But like I said, my daughter every year, even now, she still buys Pokemon. And there's times where she told me, "No, I don't think I want to play it." And as soon as the thing comes out, dude, her and her friends, they all get it. That's that. That's that crack that Nintendo has, man, when it comes to that stuff. But I agree with you. I mean, I can't play Switch anymore because I tried to play Animal Crossing with my daughter, but that's probably the first Animal Crossing game that I was disappointed in because I've been playing Animal Crossing for years. Then the games like Pikmin and stuff like that, they don't, all the games that I liked that Nintendo did, because I got away from the Mario and the Zeldas. Um, but the other games and other franchises they had, they don't do them anymore. So I kind of fell off, and Animal Crossing was the last thing, and I was playing with my daughter, and we both didn't like the game, so that was it for me, man. I traded in my Switch, and I bought a. I used that money to get the what was it, a limited edition? I think it was a Fortnite Xbox for my son. Yeah, so I don't know, dude. I mean, and their fans and the gaming industry doesn't really push them to change. I mean, they go by the beat of their own drum. That's true. So Microsoft really should buy Sega. I would be okay with that. Sonic has some really strong games with Nintendo are involved, but Microsoft could fund them a bit better. Yeah, yeah, and I know Sega is not the same Sega from when I was growing up, but hopefully, like with Microsoft's backing, they can be a little bit more, like the creative force they were back in the day. It's unfortunate that that creative drive actually helped put them out of business, but with Microsoft's money, and then Sega wouldn't have to push so hard with some of their stuff, and they can actually make a brand new. I know they're working on the new Sonic game. A lot of people are not. From the first impressions, aren't really good because I guess they went to a more realistic style. But like what Microsoft does with their other studios, right? And then they could bring back some of this other stuff, man, the backwards compatible stuff. I know it'd be hard to get some of those games because of licensing issues, but I would kill, dude, if we could get and what was that game that I was playing? Man? It was that fighting game that was on Dreamcast. I can't believe I'm Power Stone. Jeez, Power Stone One and Power Stone Two. Those games are, dude. That's two of my all-time favorite fighting games. And that's what I would like if they bought Sega. They could bring back some of the old titles, either bring them back and back compat them, right? And then do the same thing they do with other games, make them, or they like they could bring them back in and then help the games look better, get a little bit better, or they could just do a total remake, or just launch a new game in that franchise, right? Because Sega has a ton of properties. People don't realize how much property Sega has. Dude, they have a ton. Smitty, yeah, man, 30 frames per second ain't it? I'm not, dude, it's hard now, dude. Once you play an X, like I have the S, but once I played my X, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, dude, with the stuff that the X can do, like the what do you call that? Resume gaming and how fast it loads. So when I play I have a Series S downstairs. Oh, not Series S, but Xbox One S downstairs, which is fine. I mean, but man, it takes me a while to get back into it because I'm like, dude, the load times and stuff like that. I usually play some of my older games on that, and then my daughter uses it too because she doesn't have an X. Yeah, dude. Oh man, I didn't realize how long this had run. We've been on here for a while, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, let me know, guys. Are you guys gonna watch the event on Tuesday? Because they got another showcase that they're supposed to do on Tuesday. And I'm not sure if you guys are gonna be. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it, man, because I gotta work. Like for me personally, I wish Microsoft would have kicked it off during the ending of last week, like maybe on a Friday, or do it Saturday, Sunday, as opposed to Sunday. And I know on the second showcase, I think it is on Tuesday, right, Smitty? And from what I heard, man, the second showcase is not going to have anything from this showcase that they just showed. Because what they did last time, remember with Paris, they brought in which I liked. I liked that they did that. They brought in developers and expanded. Because I love industry stuff, man. That's how I am. I love the industry stuff. I like when they talk to developers. I like to get the background. Dude, I'm the dude that buys the DVD, the Criterion Collection to get all the crap that the director's cut, all that stuff, dude. If it's something I really love, especially, I'll put the time in just to watch stuff. So I actually was looking forward to that. I wouldn't mind that either because there's so many of the games, man, that they showed, dude. I would like to get a little bit more background on it. But according to what I heard, it's not going to be that way, dude. It's going to be all new stuff. Yeah, the new Mac. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, second showcase again should be new stuff. That's what I'm hearing, and there might be more. Dude, Microsoft is so big; they should have had more. Microsoft could have its own E3, and I wish they wouldn't. Like, I wish they wouldn't pull back on buying people. Dude, I did a video on my channel that I looked into the Embracer Group. Dude, they're huge. Embracer Group is huge, right? And their focus comes from a financial perspective, dude. They're a financial conglomerate. And then of course you have Tencent in China, right? These dudes don't have they have no qualms about buying somebody or picking somebody up. They just bought all those studios from Ubisoft, right? That Microsoft would have been great to have if they could have got them. The only kind of cool thing about Microsoft when it comes to Embracer Group is Embracer Group doesn't have a console, right? So they're willing to put their stuff out there because they just want to make money on it. And then the guy who runs Embracer Group, dude, that dude has pedigree as a gamer. So he knows what he's doing, and he's a gamer at heart, so that's good. Right? But even though, man, you need Microsoft, and you see it happening with some of these third parties, right, or people they've helped, right? Like case in point, like they showcase Cuphead, right, the DLC, but they helped that studio, dude, and that studio asked them to release the game to other consoles, right? So I think this was the drive for what Phil is doing, what he's doing, getting his own studios. It's just like with Netflix. Netflix realized that they need to own content and they need to create content, and they need to build a base of what do you call I would say it this way, a portfolio of work. That's what Netflix realized because it's one thing to throw money like they've been doing kind of lately, right? Throwing money and just putting stuff together and putting on their stuff. But it's another thing if people are watching it, and they kind of got caught up in the money aspect of it, and the quality kind of died off. That's why you see them putting so much emphasis on Cobra Kai and Stranger Things season 4, right? And then investing more money in that stuff. They just cut a bunch of other shows that they felt weren't going to do well. Yeah, so I mean, to me, like they could do a whole week of E3, man, and just announce. They could announce like showcases. They could announce third-party partnerships. They could announce acquisitions, right? Another thing I wish Microsoft would do because if they picked up some of these companies that they're picking up, they have these games in their back catalog, um, but they need peripherals, right? So I saw Hebot was playing House of the Dead, the remake one, and it looked amazing. But I can't play House of the Dead with the controller, dude. I just can't. I've tried it before; it doesn't work. I need a gun. I need a light gun. And Microsoft already has like people developing hardware, and I know they have third-party stuff with third-party developers. So maybe they can do that. Maybe they can work something out with the third-party developers for peripherals. But I think it would be kind of cool if they built it in themselves too, right? Because they can do the special stuff. In fact, I know that they do the consoles or the not consoles, the controllers, and they do special edition controllers. I don't know why they're not doing that with consoles now. The whole supply thing aside, because even if the supply was going well, I don't think Microsoft would do something like that, and they need to, in my opinion. Like I think if they put that on there, like you can build your own console and design it, because people collect this stuff, dude. There's people that go nuts on the controller. Now, how hard that would be for them, all the the minutia of all the fine details, right? That definitely is something they could work out. But dude, I think that's something they need to do, man. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Tuesday. Issa, I'm gonna watch Tuesday. Wonder if it's only stuff coming within 12 months though, like this conference, probably. Or you know what, dude? I shouldn't say, man. I shouldn't say it because the fact that they did a 12-month one might have masked some of the like some big announcements on Tuesday. Now, look, I'm not gonna blow smoke on anybody's ass, so I'm not gonna do that, right? I'm just kind of spitballing here, kind of talking off the top of my head. But maybe they do announce some stuff, right, that people are looking forward to. Like maybe they show Evolve finally, right? That people, I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm excited about Evolve, but I don't have the same type of urgency, I guess, as some people. Maybe because I play a variety of games and I'm still stuck on the fact that I can't get through a lot of my games on Game Pass. Right, that's where I'm at. But maybe that's something that they'll announce, man. I mean, I think that would be cool. Maybe the games that they show on Tuesday will be games that'll drop day and date, on that conference day or within a month or so. Because a lot of this stuff, even the stuff that dropped this year, they're kind of what in October. I've seen a lot of October on the show we watched, dude, when they're talking about releasing 2022. I think there was only one that was July, which is fine. Yeah, dude. But so maybe, man, fingers crossed, dude. So if you're gonna watch it, you guys will probably see it before me, man, because by the time this thing kicks off, I'll be at work. So you guys will probably see it before me. So let me know. Hit me up. Embrace your group and Tencent are some heavy hitters. Yeah, dude, they're no joke. They are no joke. Tencent, I don't really care for, but I don't like the stuff they do business wise. Embrace your group's a little bit more, at least to me, friendlier with their business practices. But they are powerhouses. And like I said, Embracer. I don't know so much about Tencent and that aspect, but I know Embracer is a financial conglomerate. Right? They bankroll a lot of this stuff. And it blew my mind because they're not just into gaming, dude. They're into all aspects of pop culture and then some, and some other stuff as well. I wasn't able to do a total deep dive, and I actually wanted to do a video on that. I was actually thinking about buying some actual um, software and stuff like that so I can make better videos. Because I just found it interesting, man. Because I did a little bit of background on the CEO or the head of Embracer Group, and they have a board, dude, and that board is like either the financially heavy hitters, legal heavy hitters, or in the gaming industry. And so what they do, they're kind of doing what Microsoft does, and I think Microsoft might have copied this from them. Dude. I'm not saying for sure, but what they do is like what you see Microsoft doing, right? They'll pick the studio, bring them in, and then let them create their stuff. Kind of let them do their secret sauce stuff, and step in only when they need to, which is usually for supporting purposes. As you can see with what they did with was it the Borderlands developer? I'm drawing a blank now on them, but the guys who do Borderlands. I think this is why Tina's Tiny Wonderland, dude. My daughter loves that game. I played it too. It's pretty cool, right? So when you have that type of backing and you have a little bit more breathing room, right, you can put up some quality stuff. Oh, really? House of the Dead on Switch has motion controls. That's cool. That's super cool. And I think I'm one of the few guys that like remember House of the Dead. Like I had a Saturn, dude. And it's interesting because I had two copies of House of the Dead. Then when eBay was hot, I sold one of them. My friend was trying to build up his eBay channel, so he asked me if I had any games and stuff, and then I sold. We sold House of the Dead. Dude, somebody paid like $500 for it for the Saturn because they couldn't get it. Because that was the time that the Saturn was kind of dying off, right? So like games like yeah, House of the Dead. What was the other ones I had, dude? Shining Force series. People were paying big bucks for that. Damn, dude, I'm drawing blanks. Mr. Bones was another one. Yeah, those games that you sell them on eBay, man, they go for hundreds of dollars. Oh, thanks, Smitty. Yeah, Gearbox. Yep, that's them. That's why that dude be smiling now, man. Is it Randy Pitchford? That dude got like he hits the stage with a wink and a smile now, right? Because the money thing is tight. So what did you guys think? What do you guys think you're gonna see on Tuesday? I mean, the opinions I have are just kind of my own. I think it'd be kind of cool if they show day and date drops in there, or if you get an announcement like Activision actually the deal went through, or something like they're so confident that the deal will go through that they're dropping all the Call of Duty games into Game Pass on Tuesday. Stuff like that. And look, dude, as far as my channel is concerned, or when I do these podcasts, I'll be honest with you guys, man. I have no problem with people speculating at all. As long as we do it in fun, like not get too caught up in it. And if and like, look, I mean, just you can get caught in, you can do whatever you want to, but as far as the disappointment, because that's how I grew up, man. We would speculate about stuff all the time, and we didn't have internet, we didn't have all the stuff that people have now, and so there was also so that what made that good, the information, not having the information back then, right? You had to actually work for it, but having the information now is pretty cool. But one of the things that was bliss back then, right, is you didn't have a lot of people just trying to get in on stuff or trying to put themselves up, trying to break stories, and they're not even gamers or like the industry. Yeah, I miss the arcades too, bro. Yeah, that was the only way to play it back then. Dude, Time Cop, all of those games, man. Those games are classic. I have no idea what to expect on Tuesday. I would just wait and see. Yeah, yeah, nothing, no harm in that either, man. I mean, I'll go the nuclear option and say like I would like to see them something happen like they're because they're just so confident on Activision now, which is good to see. Not that I said that they weren't ever not confident, but you can see them talking about it, right? Showcasing Modern Warfare 2 and then talking about Overwatch, right? And so if they can drop, if something like that, that would be huge, man. That'd be so huge. Oh, Everwild, huh? You think Everwild, Spencer? Yeah, that would be cool, dude. I would love to see more of that. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't have Halo Infinite. I know Halo's been getting some, getting dumped on social media. I've thought out and said stuff about Halo, but not in a hateful like I hate Halo. I love the game. I don't even have a problem. Like 95% of the problems that people have with Halo, especially the multiplayer, I have no problem. I don't, the maps, the way the armor and stuff like that, the gameplay is solid. My problem I have with Halo, and I don't even know if it's necessarily Microsoft's fault, but I've talked to them about this. Because my concern would be, if they're trying to expand a game like Halo across all these different, cross country, across different borders all over the world, they're gonna have to have stable connection, and that's the problem I'm having. That and the cheating. It's so obvious when I play, right? And normally I would not care as much, except for the simple fact that I bought into their packages, and I like the package. I like the seasons, and I'm willing to pay for the season, right? But when you're trying to complete some of those challenges, especially, so like if you have the mangler, right, and you're trying to run around and you have to get 5 kills with the mangler. And so I was on this one game where I always had to jump on somebody and I was shooting him, and he was able to turn around and kill me. And so I know that was a problem with hit detection, probably because of lag. So stuff like that. It's not that I hate the game or what they're doing. I love everything about it. The single player is awesome. In fact, I want to leave my kids behind because they both of them told me they wanted to play because they played Halo the campaign, and then they're like, "Oh, we gotta play." They want me to wait and play with them, and I'm like, "No, dude, I've been waiting for months now. I should have done finished that game because I actually liked the campaign. That open world feel was awesome." But I'm over here waiting for my kids, so I'm like, "Oh, Daddy gonna leave you behind." Yeah, that's why these guys will never know, man. And you know what? They have so much advantages now. You think they would appreciate gaming more, but they don't. Oh yeah, dude. Everybody there was people disappointed that GoldenEye wasn't shown. I ain't gonna lie though, Issa, man. I don't know about this banjo thing, man. I'm not saying you're that way, but there's some people talking about banjo, and I'm like, I mean, banjo, especially nuts and bolts. That game was pretty hard. And I like banjo because I love. Originally, when I was coming up in gaming, especially on the consoles, dude, it was platformers, action adventure, fighting games, and sports games. Not in that particular order, but fighting games would probably be if I had an order, it would be fighting games number one, and platformers number two, and then sports games number three. I used to play Tecmo Bowl, and that was my stuff back in the day. All those games, NFL 2K. But then even and then that's that to me. That's like the golden age of even PlayStation, man. They have like Crash Bandicoot and Jack and Daxter, man. I love that game. That game is one of my favorites. Sly Cooper, and then of course games like Banjo and Conquer, and of course the Sonic side, the Sega side with their games. So Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised because a lot of these guys that talk about Banjo, they seem younger, but maybe they played it when with maybe they played their brother's copy or something. I don't know. But yeah, I would be excited for Banjo, especially if they take all of the three games, take a little bit of every one of those games, and then create the game. Kind of like what they did with the new Crash Bandicoot, kind of wrap it all in one. Because Banjo has the mechanics of a true platformer, but it can kind of branch out and do other stuff. They could do add RPG elements as far as leveling up, character creation, and all that kind of stuff. Dude, the sky's the limit. Microsoft has throw curveballs and people least expect. You never know. Yeah, yeah, they've been doing it. They've been doing a pretty good job of that. I agree. You never know. I think Everwild will have more some similarities to Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, but maybe more like Viva Pinata. Oh, that's interesting. Viva Pinata is like one of my all-time favorite games. I remember when that game came out, I thought it looked goofy. I was like, "What is this?" And I started playing it, and then when I played it, that first day I was hooked, dude. Especially when you start. There's just some elements in that game, dude, that shouldn't work, but it just does. And it's actually a little bit creepy, but yeah, that game is fun, man. Especially when you try to breed the animals and stuff like that. That game is super cool. I wish they would bring it back. So that's why sometimes I don't understand why Microsoft don't do games like that. And when I mean bring it back, they already have the game like in backwards compatibility. But I mean building one from the ground up and just expanding on it. I think the current generation of gamers would respect something like that. And oh yeah, and back to your point with Everwild, yeah, that would be cool too. I know my daughter would be happy because she's a huge Zelda fan. She loves Zelda. We already had Tunic. Tunic is good. Do you know the problem with Tunic? Like people like Tunic went on PlayStation. Um, and I have no problem with that, dude. It is what it is. If that what makes us people happy. I don't think they're gonna get much play there on PlayStation because a lot of normies are over there. And the problem with Tunic is it's challenging. It's the same like thing with Ori and the Blind Forest that nobody wants to talk about for some reason because these guys are like, well, we didn't do as well as we thought we did. And I'm like, dude, if you want to sell mass copies, you're gonna have to dumb down your game. You have to go lowest common denominator. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest, dude. I mean, Ori is a challenging game. I'm not saying it's like Cuphead hard, and then Cuphead is like it's more challenging to me because we grew up playing those kind of games, like old school games. Um, but by today's standard, Cuphead is pretty much impossible, and Ori is ridiculously hard. Right? And what I mean by that too is you're gonna die, and then you're gonna have to as you go through the game, right? Because there's some parts in Ori, dude, you don't know what you're doing or where you're going. You're kind of guessing. You're gonna die, so you got to have that drive to keep on going. So a regular gamer man gets frustrated, and they're like, "No, I'm not. I'm done." Right? So these guys are kind of like, "Yeah, we're not selling as well as we thought we did." I was like, "Dude, you're just gonna game's too hard, man." I hate to tell you guys this, man, but maybe we all grew up in different times because some of the developers must be older too, right? Your new generation of gamers, man, are different. They're a different breed, buddy. So maybe what they could do is like with some of these other games, they put in like a story level, right? And people can play the story level. And I'm not hating on that, dude. There's some games that's if that's what you want to do, dude. It's your time, it's your money. Do what you want to do. And no hate, not for me, man. If that's what you need to get through it, and then I could help them too, man, because they could sell. And maybe maybe they're they're like that's not my artistic vision. Then I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm just telling you what the truth is, man. Your game's too hard, and that's why it's not selling. Tunic and Death Store were amazing. Yeah, Tunic, man. I got stuck on that one part. I gotta go, but then I got distracted by other games, so I gotta go back. I kind of got lost in the map, so I'm not exactly sure where to go because I went to the wrong side. I went to this one side, I kept on dying, and then I was like, you know what? Something tells me I'm not supposed to be here. Um, and I just, yeah, it's just that we're getting inundated with so many games that because like Trek to Yomi, I gotta get that dude, and I got Trek to Yomi, I gotta get back on. And Yuiden Chronicles totally sucked up everything. I was playing that game nonstop. I actually beat the game, but I still can keep on playing because there's other deeds and tasks you can do to keep on leveling up your character, which I think is cool. So it adds to the replayability. Yeah, so Death's Door, I bought that game, man, because I played the demo, right? And it was so amazing. I bought the game, but I never went back because now that I have it, right, I don't have to worry about it leaving Game Pass, which I shouldn't anyway, because Microsoft keeps those games in. But that's just the way I think. Putting all your games on every console doesn't work the way these devs think it will. Wonderful one-on-one flop point multi-platform. Best to release on the console with the audience for it sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Because one of the things that Game Pass does, it builds a reputation for you as well. That's why when we're looking at what is that Lockhart? What was the name of that game? Ravenlock, right? Because I played Echo Generation and I love Echo Generation and it's like a buy for me. Um, Ravenlock is a no-brainer as well. That's a day one buy for me because I know already. I already know how good. I already know how good that game is going to be because I played the original or their first game. I'm sure original, but you know. And basically, it just looks like what they did was. I mean, it's a different story, different world. But the elements are still kind of same. They just took the stuff that worked for them in Echo Generation and expanded it like 100 fold. So I'm definitely gonna get that game day one. Elden Ring is very hard, but sold tons. I think because like I said, lightning strikes. Lightning strikes. Lightning in a bottle strikes sometimes, right? So that to me that's kind of a one-off with Elden Ring. But did you? Has anybody? Have you guys played Elden Ring? Because when I look at Elden Ring, it has the same thing, the same feel. I would say like Hades. And what I mean by that, Hades is basically a roguelike game. But if people play roguelike games, some games are definitely better than others, right? As far as roguelike goes. So there's some roguelike games that I didn't really care for, and others that I absolutely love. And Hades is one of those. Like I don't have a problem with roguelike games, but like I said, I can either play them and leave it. But Hades was a game that sucked me in. And even though you die like a roguelike, it was actually pretty cool, right? Because of the story, the characters, the gameplay, the control was tight, dude, everything about it, the mythology behind it, the world behind it, everything. So that's what kept me engaged, and that's what I see when I look at Elden Ring. So even though the game can be hard and you can die a lot of times, there's things that the game itself does that keeps on bringing people back, which is very hard, in my opinion. That's got to be a pretty special game if that's the case. But I've never played Elden Ring, so I can't tell you. But if you guys have played it, now let me know if you think that's true. Because sometimes a game will come out in a genre that you might not like, but it might supersede that genre or be diverse enough so where you don't feel like you're playing that type of game that you don't like. If hopefully that makes sense. If Tunic was a cinematic over-the-shoulder version of Ubisoft games, maybe would have done that. Oh, dude, that's true. It's funny because it's true. Absolutely. That's why it'll be interesting to see how it sells, man. I know they're gonna have the usual suspects, man. The usual suspects when they get it. Oh, we got it. You guys thought you had it exclusive, which I don't see anybody in Xbox. Dude, we're too busy like keeping our head above water when it comes to these games, man. It's nuts. But I agree, dude. We'll see it, dude. We'll definitely see it when it comes out like in a month or two. I'm excited to see it just to see what these guys say. Just get your popcorn and watch these dudes. That's what it's basically come down to. Hey, what's up, Sega Man? Hey, dude, what's going on, dude? Hey, great job on the podcast earlier, man. That was good fun, man. I love listening to you guys. But yeah, thanks for stopping in, man. Yeah, I just wanted to wrap up my thoughts on the show from this morning, man. Absolutely loved it. That's why I kind of gave it a high score. For the reasons I said on Ebot's podcast. But what I did, Sega Man, is I went back and I rewatched it twice, and I rewatched the reactions as well. I watched one full reaction video, and then I went back and watched reactions from short clips and stuff to see what people are doing or how they feel. Like I could get like a feel for what was going on. So that's what I did. So that's why I wanted to do this video to kind of expound on what I was thinking. Because after watching it a couple times, dude, I was blown away even more. I can't wait for a lot of these games to hit. Ash Mini, Sega's in the house. Yeah, I never. Yeah, I can't see myself buying it. Just because if it is like Souls or something like that, dude, it'll be a waste of money for me. Now, if it goes into Game Pass, people get mad when you do that online. I do that all the time. I was doing that for the Spider-Man thing because these guys are just so irritating. They first, they had denial, then they were crying, and they got mad. They were going through all their phases when Spider-Man, when they found out Spider-Man was coming to PC. and they were talking trash, and I just couldn't help myself, dude. I just like, oh yeah, well, I just wrote it's like, man, if you guys are mad about when it goes to PC, wait till it goes to Game Pass. Dude, people lost their minds when I said that. Wouldn't that be funny to announce that on Tuesday? Because look, it's already on PC, right? And if you notice what Sony's doing, at least with Jim Ryan, as a person that I'm not a Sony dude, man, and I never will be, right? But if you are a Sony guy and you really care about Sony, I'm talking about your console and your games and keeping them relevant, then you should like what Jim Ryan's doing. In fact, as a person that wouldn't care if Sony goes away, Jim Ryan is kind of doing what I don't want him to do, because he is trying to change up Sony. Because they'll always have their AAA stuff, dude. And we're all the crap that these guys talk about AAA. It takes them 3 to 4 years before they actually get a game. So they need stuff in between. So I'm not saying they're going to get rid of God of War. I think they'll do God of War to that thing's like God of War 25. And they'll do God of War until they like pretty much what is it absorb every single mythology throughout the human history. They'll be doing God of War. So, and which is fine. I mean, they like that stuff, whatever, right? But Jim Ryan's, he was reading the writing on the wall, and by him doing what he's doing, allowing Sony to pivot. So I don't know what these guys' problems is, man. They should actually be thanking the guy for doing this. I mean, he's single handedly trying to save Sony right now by making them profitable on a level I mean, they'll never hit Microsoft level, but because Sony's not that company anymore. But at least to stay relevant within gaming, dude. Or the chance could be that they will get snatched up by somebody else. Or we've already seen games on Sony go to Xbox Game Pass, right, with MLB. Now I know some people will say that Major League Baseball themselves kind of pushed that, but Jim Ryan is looking at the money aspect of it, a business sense, right? It would make sense for them to put their studio games on Game Pass, right? Because they'll get the money from Microsoft, whether they're putting it day one or whatever sales they make. Maybe they can strike a deal with Microsoft, because a lot of and the Xbox guys are doing it. They're saying that Game Pass is going to go to Sony. I don't see how that's possible with Sony having their own service. And again, I'm a firm believer in the market space or market share, and I think if Game Pass and Xbox continue to be successful, dude, they'll be it's game over, man. They get those Netflix, hell, they get the Disney Plus subscriber numbers, man. Microsoft will own the market share. And Microsoft, they underfill, they're nice guys and stuff like that, but at least they'll be the same nice guys, but at least they'll be able to negotiate from a position of power, which is what you want. Like if there's any company that I wish this for is Microsoft, because they're like that. Now, I'm not saying that they won't turn to the dark side. That could possibly happen. You never know what the future holds. But like I always say in my other videos, I wouldn't mind getting there first and see if that happens. I'm willing to give them a shot. I can't stand the Souls games designs. It's not really constructed well, in my opinion. I just like how many games try to do that artificial limitation. Linear restrictions out of place. Yeah, I think that's why Elden Souls people like it, man, because it looks like something that's not right. And of course, they did attach the what's his name? Oh my gosh, it's getting late. I'm losing my mind. The guy who does Game of Thrones, the writer for Game of Thrones. They attached his name to it because of obviously he probably did the world and he did the story. Or I'm assuming he did. So I know that was a draw for a lot of people. And the overall look, dude, I mean, of the game, even though, like you said, right, it still looks dark and stuff like that, but I think the fantasy, that one relies a little bit more on fantasy, so I think that's more palpable to people. I don't know. Like I said, lightning in a bottle. So, yeah, dude. Hey, Sega Man, dude, are you gonna watch the show on Tuesday? Are you guys gonna do another live cast? I think when it comes on, I'll be working, so I won't be able to do it. Like I won't be able to do anything as far as I'm gonna have to wait till I come home and watch it. So if you guys do a podcast, man, that would be cool. But I won't be able to watch it like live because I'll be at work because of the time. They'll probably do it early. But yeah, dude, and let me know, dude. Is there anything that you're looking forward to on Tuesday? I already said something crazy, man. I was like, oh, they drop all the Activision games in the Game Pass. I think that would be cool. Yeah, here's all your Call of Duty, bam. Dude, that'd be crazy. I think that's gonna push subs just so people can, have all those games in one spot and just go through all the decades. Dude, I'm definitely looking for that remade Modern Warfare. I know we have Modern Warfare 2. I definitely hope they put Modern Warfare in here. The remake that they did. Because I didn't want to pay that money for it. I think it's like $20 now though, so maybe I would pick it up. Well, I think they're asking what, $39, $40, $50, something like that. I'm like, yeah, you guys are out of your mind. That's because I have every single Call of Duty game except the last one. And I bought them all on disc. Oh no, not the last one. I think the last two. The last two I don't have. The last one I had bought was Black Ops 4. Yeah. So I didn't buy Modern Warfare. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up because we've been on here for a while, dude. I really appreciate you guys coming in, man. Actually, I like this better than anything else, dude. And for me, like the subscriber count I have, dude, I would rather have a lower subscriber count if I have better interaction with people, definitely. Because this is what makes it fun, not just talking about games. And you know what, dude? If you guys want to, man, I mean, I'm all open for it. I've been talking to a couple other people, but I know it's hard because the scheduling is and stuff like that. But if anybody's up, dude, to do a podcast, if you want to, yeah, Spencer, dude, thank you. If you want to be on here, dude, let me know. This was kind of random and stuff like that, but um, you just have to give me a way to contact you, and I'll definitely bring anybody on. Because that's the way I want to do the podcast, man. And I'll do a format and everything. That's no problem. But it's a lot better when we're just talking. That's kind of like why, with Sega Man, and the podcast they do. I love listening to them, man, because they bounce off each other, man. It's a good crew, right? We're kind of Xbox tight, Xbox all in, right? And then the wealth of gaming knowledge just by the comments alone, man. I know you guys are into gaming. So just let me know. And we can do that, dude. So I don't have to, and I love reading the comments and stuff like that. That's really cool. Yeah, Smitty, man, take it easy, brother. Yeah, I know it's kind of late. I mean, well, it's early morning for you. Well, oh yeah, you're off though. Yeah, you're lucky, bro. I know, man. I feel like my throat is kind of scratchy right now. Might have to just so I can catch up on my Game Pass games. But no, I won't do that because I think next week Monday next week Monday is Juneteenth, so that's a federal holiday, and then on that following Friday I also have appointments, so I'm kind of strapped for I got a lot of work to do, so I got to try and get that stuff in. So I'm actually going to need this week to finish off. So that's why I'm kind of bummed I won't be able to watch that second podcast live. Because I'm going to be busy all week. Because I know, because I live in Hawaii, so I know that stuff's not going to be, you know, late in the afternoon for me because everybody will be sleeping by the time I get home. But yeah, guys, thanks for dropping by, man. Definitely gonna check out the podcast. Um, for the whoever I'm gonna be checking out who did the podcast, catching up with everything from this showcase still because I still want to gauge the reactions, man. And like I said, there's the outliers. People might be too positive or people might be too negative, but if we're being honest, there's people being way too negative. And just getting a feel for it, and then prepping for the new showcase on Tuesday. But yeah, but anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Again, this is All In Channel. I am your host, Sega Forever. Shout out to Smitty Smith. Shout out to Sega Man 101. And definitely shout out to Spencer, man. Thanks for dropping by. It was nice talking to you. Issa as well for sticking with me for like over 2 hours. That was awesome. And like I said, I had a great time. But yeah, dude, All In Channel, Sega Forever. We out.